already streaming.
I don't look that bad.
No, you don't. No, you got
If you guys are on, I look bad apparently. I don't look that bad. I don't think I do. I'm tired. It's been a lot of days. I got a lot of stuff going on. I got 3 ventures that I'm doing all at once.
I said you look shot, not bad.
Shot?
Yes.
Like barely alive. That's bad.
You want to hold it?
No, I don't want to hold it. I'm waiting for you to get the stand going. Hey, look, it's your favorite media outlets. Oh, we going across, right? Yeah. Here, you hold it. We're going across.
Alright, you want to go across? Let's go.
We don't have anybody out there.
No. Man. So, why were you going to go to Bushwick?
Because I was already in Williamsburg, and I was like, screw this. I'm not going back to Dumbo. So I was like, let me hit Veronica and see if she's something. Because I was already after L, right? So I was just like, maybe I'll just come out to Bushwick.
Yeah, we were just.
But then I changed my mind.
Yeah. We were fucking around.
Get home safe.
All right.
And he has 2 counts.
We got one person in so far. It might be Cody, but
Consecutive. That would be 30. That's my wife said.
I cannot really go.
I'm gonna go in here.
I haven't had that beer yet.
All right, we're in front of the courthouse. Okay. See right there? That's a Sprinter van that comes every day with the security. The security's in that black SUV, and the Sprinter van comes every day to pick up Sean Puffy Combs' family. All right, let's give them a little tour. We just saw Mr. Garagos, who is the father. He's the father of Penny Garagos, who is the lady that's doing the cross examination on the day door right now. Oh, I'm just showing.
Good. You want to see it while you show them?
See me?
No. There you go.
Oh, you mean see that?
Yes.
Coming right now.
What else we got? Who's coming out of here? Who is this? He don't look important, but he might be. He's walking straight to that. He's walking straight to that. Oh no, he ain't walking straight to that. He ain't important. Look at all these. They're all waiting. And we got the main man right here.
On the backup channel, not even indexed, and almost 300%. So you already know by the end of this week there's gonna be thousands of people.
This is the main man right here. Look at watch it. Oh, okay, then you got his sons and his mother right here.
You look amazing. Yeah, they scared to ask questions and stuff.
For all y'all that wanted to see that was it basically.
They not like me, you understand what I'm saying? Like the video you said, that's the show.
Hey, you got a couple of highlights that we can mention?
I gotta look in the book.
Okay, good. Well,
There you
title
go.
even.
Some fool back here talking and stuff, trying to film me. Like, you don't get your own content.
We could do that. Yeah. Are you on the live, Cody? Oh, okay, we had someone in there then.
Look who we have here.
Number one. That's who that is.
What is it called?
Yeah.
Video Inception.
What you gonna tell Diddy freak out?
Video Inception. Yeah, sounds like a plan.
You will? You will go to Diddy freak out?
What? What are you
You'll
talking
do it
about?
for
No.
What's up, y'all? Please like the video,
I like
like
that.
the video.
I like that.
Subscribe to the channel. I greatly appreciate you guys for being here. Absolutely. Why, you put the dress back on. Why you was taking a bird bath?
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
I smell like bacalao. The
Yeah,
man
but-
handed me a bag of fish to give to the homeless.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, this fish has been sitting outside in the hot sun. As a black person, you know, you do not eat fish. You can eat chicken, it's safe. Like if on a road trip from New York to South Carolina, you may bring your Popeye's chicken with you. It's still good the next morning in the car. It's safe. If you buy fish, I don't care if it's fried. Don't eat it. That's the first time you eat it. Don't take it with you. Don't try. No, I was just fixing my hair.
No, but you took a bird bath.
No, I wiped off. Miss Nakia gave me a BBQ wipe, a big one, and I wiped my arm off.
Oh yeah, and why did you earlier? Why did you show the
And I put the green on.
What's up,
Who's
y'all?
The good
I wanna-
stuff.
I wanna,
Like,
Charlucci.
And here's
I
the
want to ask him a few questions.
He's been doing his
I want to ask him a few
Turn
questions.
around your glass so I can see.
Pardon me?
I need to put my headphones away.
You got it.
Yes.
Guys, we're about to start. We got a few people on. About to start.
Because he gave me a bag of bacalao, and then he told me
Wait
it
a
was
minute, wait a minute. How you
bacalao.
gonna say that?
No,
You
no, no, no,
called
no, no, no,
Asian
no.
hate?
I
Wait a
didn't know.
minute,
you went
I am
viral for telling
Asian.
me.
I am Asian.
You're not Asian.
I'm from Ukraine too. That's Asia. Ukraine is in Asia. What are you talking about? Ukraine is in Asia. What happened? Y'all didn't know that?
Y'all make sure y'all double tapping on that screen and hitting that.
They're ready for the deets. They want tea.
I haven't
listen.
got one cash app from anyone.
Let's come. Let's go over here.
I got a half burners today. And soon it's gonna be a big
How you did that though?
Now we're gonna explore the terrain. This is what it looks like outside the Diddy trial.
Right here, this is where people, you know, they can wait in the line for you. This is where the people that sleep in the streets, you pay them to hold the line for you. And if you want to be inside, they'll hold the line for you all night. We're going back where people are calm and normal and not talking about how Ukraine is in Asia, which is not. Ukraine is in Europe. But okay. Okay. Let's do a quick Q&A. Can you guys put your questions in here? Just let's answer a couple questions. If you guys have some questions in here, just to let you guys know, I will not be here in the trial for most of the day tomorrow. I do have other businesses. I have other things that I do, and yeah, I can't be in the trial all day, every day. I got work to do. So for those of you guys who wonder how I get to this trial every day, just to give you guys a heads up. So I wake up really early. I work about 4 hours before I leave, and then I work 4 hours when I get home. So and then I work on the weekends, and I usually try to put all my appointments for Thursdays. For those of you guys who are wondering what's going on in the trial today, honestly, there wasn't that many great highlights, but let's see. Why didn't the judge let the prosecution recall the psychologist? All right, guys. So the reason why the judge didn't let the prosecution, now just to get, for those of you guys who don't know, there was a psychologist that the prosecution called. The prosecution called that psychologist, I believe. You mind holding this real quick? The prosecution called the psychologist, I believe, week 2 of the trial, just after Cassie, just to tell the jurors why people actually don't like leave these type of situations. So that was basically it. Why don't people leave these type of situations? And sorry, there's a lot of distractions behind us, so just there we go. And the psychologist came and said a bunch of nonsense. If you ask me, it's nonsense, and this is why it's nonsense. All right. If you're an expert witness, right, and you're a psychologist, right, and somebody says, "Can you tell me why somebody wouldn't leave an abusive relationship?" The psychologist will give you a bunch of reasons. And if the next question is, can you tell me why somebody would leave an abusive relationship? The psychologist is going to give you a bunch of reasons. And then if you have a psychologist say, can you tell me why somebody wouldn't go to the police? The psychologist is going to give you a bunch of reasons. And if you say, can you tell me why somebody would not go to the police? The psychologist is going to give you a bunch of reasons. So really, all you're doing is saying any of the above actions can happen and this is how they happen. So you're not actually giving any real testimony. You're not actually giving any real expert advice. Because number one, she did not study this case. She did not study this particular victim. She did not, well, it came out that she actually did, but she testified to not knowing the case, not knowing the victims, not knowing anything about that. And if every answer is yes, this could happen, yes, this could happen, yes, this could happen, and here's why, then you're not really providing any information to the jury. The jury wants to know it is very rare for this to happen. So the psychologist is Google, exactly, or ChatGPT, because you can ask ChatGPT the same exact stuff. You can ask ChatGPT the same thing. It's going to give you a million reasons as to why this could happen and a million reasons as to why it might not happen. So what are we learning? If I'm on a jury, I'm going to say, like, what are we really learning? That somebody might call the cops and somebody might not. We know that already, right? So I didn't think that was very good. But to give you guys the understanding of what happened was, this new victim came onto the stand and she had different reasons why she was staying, and they wanted to recall the same psychologist to say, oh, well, why don't you tell us why this new person is not actually leaving, because she has a different reason than the other victim. And the judge basically said, no, you could have asked the psychologist those questions knowing that you were bringing this new witness on the stand who is a new alleged victim. You could have asked those questions already. So there's no reason to bring her back just because this particular victim brought up different things. All right? My energy is low today because they drained me in there with like a whole bunch of sexting, more sexting. It wasn't really great today, guys. It was half day. I will give them that. But there were a few things that I went through in my notes, and I will give you guys. Hey, everyone. Hey, Melissa, how you doing? Shout out to you. Shout out to you. All right. So I'm going to give it to you guys, and I'm going to like and subscribe. I thank you. Please do like, subscribe, and share these videos. Share these videos. Especially, we put up 3 videos that I would love for you guys to share once you guys get the chance. One was about the Mann Act. Another was about bribery. And another was an interview that I did here with, I think, FameTuber. I believe that's the channel. Those 3 shares, yes, please share those. Those 3, I'm really kind of diving into a lot of things that I believe a lot of people should understand about the law altogether, but especially about this particular case. And I really want you, how you doing, brother? I really want you guys to be thought leaders yourselves. So go in and look at those videos, and I break down the actual statutes in 2 out of 3 of those videos, so you guys can really understand not only your own rights, but just like how you can move around and how you can also research those things for yourself. All right, so let's get into it. The first note I have that actually was worth writing down is hotel night, after she sent a message to him saying she loved their time together. So she's always sending these messages after the hotel night. This Jane Doe is always, if it's a hotel night, she's always sending these messages saying, oh, I loved it last night. I loved our hotel nights. And again, I wrote, fight about sending nicer gifts to other girls. So the fights always come down to that. Oh, you're sending her a nicer gift than you sent me. This is just like, this one was a particular card. So she sent actual, he sent flowers to both of them. She's looking at the card that the other girl put on Instagram and saying that, oh, you sent her a nicer card than you sent me. So this is the type of arguments that they've just been having nonstop. Another time they had one of these hotel nights at the Trump, and the person that they had the hotel night with, they didn't actually pay that person. They didn't pay the person. Oh, sorry, they did pay him, but they didn't do the thing. They didn't have intercourse. They didn't do the actual freak off. The guy came, they actually didn't like the guy, and so he left. They dismissed him, and they did not pay him. Sorry, they paid him. Sorry, guys. They paid him. So here's the thing. If you're paying somebody, even though they didn't do the act, right, the intercourse act, and you're paying them, then how is that hiring them for sex? It's not. Because if they're still getting paid, whether they have sex or not, then it's not hiring them for sex, which is a really huge thing. And the reason why this is huge is because of the simple fact that if you are being charged with the Mann Act, which is bringing people across state lines in order to engage in sex acts, that means that even if that person doesn't engage in, if that person decides not to engage in that act, or you decide not to engage in those acts with them, then you don't owe them money because the payment was for prostitution, right? So this is very important because that means that the payment is not for prostitution. It is exactly what the defense said in their opening statements, which is this payment is for time and experience. So for you to come here and hang out, and if you want to, you can. If you want to, you can do it. If you don't want to, you don't have to do it. And if we want you to do it, then, if we don't want to do it, then we won't do it. And if you want to do it and we don't want to do it, then we won't do it. And if we want to do it and you don't want to do it, then we won't do it. Everybody has to be agreeing to do it. If you're here and if you don't do it, or if we don't do any sexual acts, it's not like I can't pay you because I'm not paying you for sex. Which also lends to the sex trafficking charge, because in order for somebody to be sex trafficked, it has to be commercial sex. Commercial sex means there's money exchanged for sex. Okay, you understand that? I'm gonna run through that one more time, because this day was boring, but I'm gonna make it fun for you guys. I'm gonna run through it one more time to make you guys understand what a thought leader is. Think for yourself, okay? Don't listen to what they're telling you on the news. If I hire you to come and hang out with me and my girlfriend, and we don't do any intercourse, and I still pay you, how could you say that I was paying you to come here to have? Because that's the main thing. That's the only element as it pertains to the Mann Act, which that element is bringing them across state lines. And as it pertains to sex trafficking, is that there was a commercial sexual act that was done. But if I am not paying, if I'm paying you whether you do the commercial sexual, do the sexual act or not, censored. Is it censored or coercion? Is that coerced? I think it might be coerced that you're saying there, Melissa. But again, if I'm still paying you whether you're doing it or not, the sexual act or not, then at that point, I'm not paying you for sex. I'm paying you for your time and experience, which is exactly what the defense said in the first place in their opening statement. If you were saying coerced or coercion, I wonder if that's it that you were saying, but I feel like I've read censored, but it came on the screen so quickly. My point is that it doesn't matter even if you were coerced. If you were coerced and there's no commercial sexual act, it's not sex trafficking. If you were coerced and you sent somebody across state lines and they had sex, but nothing was paid for, it's not sex trafficking. Let me read this quickly. No, you just pointed out that you're censoring your statements. Yes, I know. Look, I'm new to this YouTube stuff. I might censor, I might not. Our editors will figure that out after. I'm trying my best, guys. I'm trying to censor the statements. I don't know if I'm supposed to or if I'm not. I've been told on live it don't matter, and I've been told on live it does matter. So I'll try my best. So anyways, that was a really big I said the proof that they still paid the person is Puff sent her a link to pay the guy that came from Cowboys and Angels. I'll repeat, Puff sent her a link to pay the guy that came from Cowboys and Angels. And she wrote in the message when she paid the guy, she said, and I quote, when they paid, the message was, for your bum-ass cowboy. That's what it said, for your bum-ass cowboy. That's what Jane sent in the message while paying the guy. You know when you send a Zelle payment, or when you could send a message and it says what the payment's for, or you could send like a little, it was like for your bum-ass cowboy. So clearly she was saying that I didn't like the person that you guys sent or that we got, and he sucked, and but we're paying you anyways because we didn't pay him to have sex or sex. We paid him to just show up and hang out with us. So that was one of them. They brought up Gina a couple times just to show how jealous she was of Gina. Actually, Cassie was also jealous of Gina. Puff actually said that Cassie was oftentimes bringing up Gina, and Gina basically kind of destroyed him and Cassie's relationship. And then it said, what else do I have here? She said that Gina was very dramatic, and she saw that Gina was with Puff at a hotel one day, and she kind of went off. She also said that the hotel nights, Puff said the hotel nights bring him peace. He kept repeating, like, I had a hard week, the hotel nights bring me peace. And that right there was really huge, because you're trying to get into this guy's head as to why he's doing these things, because it's kind of weird. I don't know how that brings you peace, doing drugs and partying, but apparently it brought him peace. But she would say, I wanted to do them a lot because of the fact that he always needed them, and it always brought him peace, and I wanted to do that for him because I liked him or I loved him or whatever. We had another one where she said they wanted to do 30 days of no drugs. I don't know if it was her idea or if it was his idea, but it was him that mentioned it. And of course, before 30 days of no drugs, what do? You go and do a drug binge, which was his idea. And they used to call these sobriety nights. So they go and do this drug binge on sobriety nights. They have an entire night of just debauchery and drugs and everything. And then after that, they go 30 days, no drugs. In this particular instance, she didn't actually do any drugs in this particular instance. But she did have three dudes. That she was having to, perform with, or perform for, or perform on. I guess it was all three at any different time. She was performing with them at a time, performing for them at a time, and performing on them at a time. But she did have three dudes. Going back to that Gina thing, guys, I did want to say one thing that I wrote, and I put a laughing emoji on my notes. It said, she said she was jealous of Gina, and Gina was so dramatic. And I wrote the irony. The irony, because if anybody's dramatic, it seems like this girl on the stand. Another time she tried to break up with Puff while she was in the Equinox parking lot. And so that is the defense attorneys trying to prove autonomy, that she was able to, break up with him if she wanted, anything like that. And then it says, let's see what else I wrote. Then they play a video of the two of them laughing and playing and flirting and praising each other and kissing. Now, when I say kissing, it's really an embarrassing video of Sean Diddy Combs being like, it's so cringe. All this stuff is cringe today, guys. It's like, somebody said it yesterday. This is like all a soap opera. Sorry, I've not been a Young and the Restless fan or any of those soap opera fans. I'm really like tired. I want this lady off the stand. She still has more cross tomorrow. I don't know what more we have to go through, but the defense attorneys are really doing a great job. I'm going to tell you guys how they are at the end of this video. There's only two more pages of notes. It's gonna be a short video today, guys. I only put 2 more pages of notes today because it was a half day of the trial today, and also it kind of sucked. It was just over and over again. I don't really have that much tea to give you guys. All right. Then let's see. They kept saying we need to pick each other up. We need to pick each other up, and she kept saying we need to pick each other up and encourage each other. And then they went through many nights, as well as the above, like with the above video, they went through many nights and they didn't have hotel nights. So that's what the defense attorneys, love your commentary. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that love. They had many nights that they didn't do hotel nights. So think about this. The defense attorneys are trying to say, like, your whole entire relationship wasn't just hotel nights. There are many times that you didn't do these hotel nights, and you guys sent these messages, mwah, 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 back and forth. We need to pick each other up, laughing, flirting, I love you, this and that. They had many nights like that. So it wasn't all just hotel nights. That's what the defense attorney is trying to say. And then I'm gonna get to this last part. Puff would write love letters to Cassie. You heard that right. They said to her, would Sean write love letters to Cassie while you guys were high together? And she said, no, not that I remember. And the defense attorney goes, all right, let me show you this this exhibit. We couldn't see it. Again, we can't see these exhibits. And then she goes, oh yeah, right, actually, yeah. So basically, while he's high with this Jane Doe, he's also writing love letters to Cassie while he's high with the Jane Doe. I don't know how that works. Could you imagine you're like high with a person that you feel like you're in a relationship with, which they were. It's just that he was in a relationship with multiple women. But now all of a sudden he's writing a love letter to the ex. Like, that's kind of crazy. And the fact that she didn't remember that until they showed it to her on the stand, and then she said, oh yeah, I do remember, that was kind of crazy. And then that's where I ended, where Gina and Cassie were at odds, and Puff said Gina tormented his relationship with Cassie. And then I wrote, defense says trial will end when judge says it will end, which was July 4th. So the 4th of July weekend, or before the 4th of July, this trial should end. The next witnesses is a guy named Andre. I think it was Andre Lamar. But it's Andre, another guy named Jonathan Perez. I thought I heard Paul, and you know Paul, he's Shaq in this whole trifecta. So I thought I heard the name Paul. And the prosecution should rest their case on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. You heard it here first. The prosecution should rest their case on Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. They said as early as Wednesday, as late as Friday of next week. So we only have a few more witnesses for the prosecution once Jane is off the stand. She should be off the stand tomorrow because apparently she has a international trip that she's gonna go on to, and she has to make her flight for her international trip, which I believe Puff is also paying for. So that's funny too. But that's it. Now I wanna get into some conspiracy theories, guys. There's a couple of conspiracy theories here, and then any questions that you guys might have. One of them is that, okay, I want to say that emotional pressure or relationship threats standing alone are not enough for a criminal conviction. You got to put that in like 2 or 3 comments. Give me a second. Please write that again, but just put it in 2 or 3 comments. Because it's not that you did anything wrong. It just disappears on the screen so quickly. So I can't actually see it. But my point is, guys, here is the conspiracy. The conspiracy is that this is really a defense witness. This is like a double agent. That's what people are saying in the courtroom. I'm not lying. I'm not making this up. People are, and again, I don't believe it, but people are saying this is a double agent because all of her testimony, it all goes toward supporting the fact that she was not sex trafficked and supporting the fact that this was a relationship that just wasn't the way she wanted it to go. Yep, Jane Doe sounds like a compromised witness. Yes, people are saying that. People are actually saying that she's really actually, and all those spats, those quote unquote spats, she had a couple spats where the defense attorney would ask her a straight up question. She'd be like, did you text this? Is this your text message? Yes, I texted it because I needed to show my lover that I was trying to support him, but not because I also wanted to also have sex with other men and blah, blah, blah. She would go all around the circle. And then it's just like, did you text this or not? You don't need to tell me why. And here's the only reason why I actually am telling you guys this is because think about this. The defense can object to that with that witness, right? The defense could say to the judge, can you have her just answer the question? As a matter of fact, the defense did that yesterday. And the judge did that today without the defense asking her the judge to do it. So the defense could say to the judge, can you have her just answer the question, yes or no? She's going and saying, well, I did this, and adding all of this commentary to it. And the defense is just letting her rock with it. Just letting her go and say all those things without saying, judge, come on. I'm asking her one question, yes or no. Is this a message that you wrote? And she would be like, yes, I did write it, but that's because I was heavily influenced by love. And at the time, I wanted to support my lover. And they'll just let her rock with it. So I'm just sitting there like, the only reason why they would let her rock with this is if they are either in cahoots with her or she's continuing to say stuff that they want her to say. Not to mention the judge at some point just got fed up with it and said, without the defense asking the judge to do so, the judge said, can you just answer the question? Like, you keep going on a tangent. So a lot of people are saying, like, why is the defense taking it so easy? Even the defense attorney, Tenny Garagos, she's just sitting there like smiling and laughing. Remember, this is a pregnant woman. Smiling and laughing, and yeah, it's because, you know, it is your lover, right? And you want to spend time with your lover, right? This is how the defense attorney is saying it. And Jane Doe is like, yeah, I did. And, you know, it was really important to you to spend those quality nights together, right? And she would be like, yeah, it was. And that made you feel like you were helping him when you were rubbing his feet, and you guys would watch Dateline together. And, you know, everybody wants to feel good and feel like they're having a good time with the person that they love. And then, like, so she's really like spoon feeding it to her. And so to me, the defense is doing a really great job, whether they're in cahoots or not, whether this is a double agent or not. The defense is doing a really good job in just getting her to say this was a regular relationship. I made sacrifices. He made sacrifices. I regret those sacrifices now, but at the time I did do stuff that now I'm not proud of. That's basically what this whole entire witness was. And that's why it's so exhausting hearing them repeat the same thing over and over again. They're going through text message after text message and voice note after voice note of what a regular relationship is. And I know a lot of people, I do want to say that I'm gonna put my book down because, you mind holding this? I'm gonna put my book down because right now, I don't have any more notes. I'm just gonna give you guys some of my understanding of this whole entire thing. Okay, I'm not gonna give you my actual opinion. Just as my understanding and my hunch on this kind of thing. I believe that right now, the defense is laying the groundwork. Wait, do you think Young Miami will take the stand? And then I can just imagine how the jurors are feeling. Yes. Okay. Do I think Young Miami will take the stand? That's a good question. My gut tells me no, but I wouldn't be surprised if she did. Just with that question right there. There are so many people who have been mentioned in this trial, and usually when the person is mentioned, they end up taking the stand. Now, if Young Miami does take the stand, I imagine she will take the stand for the defense. Also, a lot of people were, and I told you guys KK was not going to take the stand. I told you guys D-Rock was not going to take the stand. KK, who is Christina Corin, which is his chief of staff, that they're trying to say is a part of, she hasn't made any comments on the trial, no hints. I think she will. If she does, I believe it's going to be for the defense, because right now the prosecution, this cute dog. Right now, the prosecution said that they just listed their next 4 witnesses. KK got immunity. I don't believe that she did. So here's the thing, if KK was going to take the stand, think about this. The prosecution just named their next 3 or 4 witnesses, and they also said that they're going to be wrapping up in about 5 days, or 5 days or less, right? So KK's testimony would take at least 4 or 5 days itself, because she would have been a co-conspirator. So there's no way she could have took the stand. She would be taking the stand. Same with D-Rock. That would have also been a co-conspirator. So if they do take the stand, they will be taking the stand for the defense, and which is why I was trying to explain to people that, like, oh, KK has to take the stand. She has to take the stand. Her name is mentioned too. Law and Crime, that Jesse Weber guy. Oh, she has to take the stand. I've been telling people in their comments all the time. I get killed in their comments because, you know, the type of people who watch their videos have a certain mindset, which is perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with it. But people are telling me, I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, you think you're a lawyer, this and that. And it's just funny because it's just common sense. We have 4 more witnesses that they just gave us names of, and they said they're going to be resting their case in what, 3 to 5 days? So how would we have time for KK to take the stand and more of the escorts to take the stand? I think Paul's one of the escorts that might take the stand. But all these people, we don't have time for that. So, but here's the thing. The defense also said that the timeline for the trial to end on the 4th of July is actually on target. So think about this. Next week Wednesday is the 18th of June. Next week Friday is going to be the 20th of June, okay? Think about this for a second. We're logical thinkers here. That's the whole point of this channel, right? We think for ourselves. If the 20th of June, we get to the 20th of June and the prosecution rests, that means there's 2 weeks of defense witnesses. 2 weeks at least. That's 10 more days left in June and 4 days in July, because they said that we'll wrap up by the 4th of July. At least 2 weeks of defense witnesses. Now, that tells me I do not think Puff will take the stand, because his direct examination and cross-examination would already take like 2 weeks. So that tells me I doubt he will take the stand. But that tells me that the defense has a good few witnesses. Because if they're going to take up an entire 2 weeks, which is 10 days of testimony, and some days you have multiple witnesses, right? They probably at least have 10 witnesses, if not more, right? So I'm just trying to think about this logically. Maybe that question, do I think Young Miami will take the stand? Maybe she might, for the defense. Maybe KK might take the stand for the defense. Maybe D-Rock might take the stand for the defense. Maybe some of these people that we've been hearing, these names in the trial, maybe they might take the stand for the defense. I saw in another video that the judge threatened to kick out one of the black jurors. Is that true? No, it's not true. That's not true at all. There was, it's like broken telephone, the way this stuff goes. There was juror number 6. Okay, juror number 6 was rumored to maybe possibly be removed. That has not happened. But the thing is, nobody knows who juror number 6 is. So I don't know how anybody would know how it's a black juror. Now, my assumption is maybe they were connecting that situation in which he was like vigorously nodding to the jurors. And maybe that juror was looking at him and he was nodding back to that particular juror. When I say he, I mean Sean Combs. Let me say this though. For any of you guys who have vigorously nodded, you know you are not the first person to nod when you're vigorously nodding. Usually it's that person giving you a look and then you're replying with a vigorous nod. So that's like somebody looking at you and like, and then you're like, yeah, right. So it was during the balcony girl's testimony, and I call her the balcony girl because I don't know if her story's real or not, but it was during the balcony girl's testimony, and her stories weren't adding up. And I feel like if we're, again, let's think about this logically. If somebody shoots you a look of agreeance or positive look towards you, like, right? You're gonna be like, right. Like, you're not gonna be like, just looking at them and all of a sudden, you know, Mia, and all of a sudden just nodding vigorously. You won't do that. That's not how it is. So that means that somebody from the jury was looking at him and giving him looks of positive stuff. Like I said, please do, guys, please do. I appreciate that, Melissa. So that's what I gather, and then maybe that was one of the jurors, and maybe some people in the courtroom that had seen the juror that was looking at him like that, maybe that person saw that person might have been black and said, that must be the person that he was shooting looks with back and forth and nodding vigorously. But you see how this all is broken telephone. Nobody knows who that juror is. And these are all rumors. This is all stuff that's just floating online. And this is not stuff that is actually real. And the judge has not removed that juror. And trust me, at the end of the day, there are 18 jurors there. I know only 12 are going to be the ones that make the decision, but there are 6 alternates. So we don't have to worry if a juror is particularly removed, because we have 6 more alternates that are all seeing the same thing. They're all sitting in the courtroom all together. And even though there are 12 jurors that are selected, there's also 6 alternative jurors that are sitting right beside the other ones that are saying, okay, well, if you need to call me as an alternate juror, I have all the same information. So we don't have to worry about this being an unfair trial. If one person gets kicked off, they get kicked off, and they're gonna substitute it with another person that has the same exact information, the same exact experience, the same exact instructions, and the same exact point of view. So we won't have to worry about that when it comes to justice. All right, guys. What else we got? There was one more. Somebody had asked a question. I asked you to put it into 2. It was about sex trafficking, and I have that question. If you could just repost that question. It was about sex trafficking as it pertains to this particular case or this particular trial. I see it there. Emotional pressure or relationship threats standing alone are not enough for a criminal conviction for sex trafficking under federal law. Okay, this is true. In this particular relationship, it's emotional. I'm confident Diddy will walk. Hey, well, the golden doors aren't here. The golden doors are like right over there. Like right there where we were earlier when we started this live. Where we walked by earlier when his family was coming out. If you got into the live late, then you guys can go to the beginning and you'll see the golden doors. They were right there where his sons were walking out, and you could see his mother walking out. We tried to get a little bit of that footage for you guys, so you could start the live over and you'll see it. I think it's probably in maybe the first 5-7 minutes. But anyways. Yes, Melissa says mistrial, and then somebody else asked if it said he might walk. He might walk out of those golden doors. I would not be surprised, guys. I would not be surprised. I think that there are a lot of people who do have emotional, who make emotional decisions, but I don't believe those people are on this jury. Remember, these jurors weren't like picked randomly off the street. The way a jury selection goes is the prosecution and the defense has to agree on this is the person on the jury. I'm gonna get to that. Thank you for posting it. The prosecution and the defense have to agree, yes, we're gonna pick this one, we're gonna pick this one, we're gonna pick this one. And my bet is, and a lot of people say these decisions are made during jury selection. Like the verdict is actually made during jury selection, because they have professionals that are just sitting there and saying, okay, this is what you look for, this is the body language, these are the questions that you should ask, so on and so forth. I'd imagine that a lot of these jurors are not going to be easily shaken by that video that they kept playing of Cassie getting assaulted. I imagine that that's not going to happen, and here's why. Because this is New York City. We know that most people, is that one YT lady exaggerating what's going on in court? Yes, for sure. But remember, like, guys, this is a brand new channel for me. I'm making money from this, obviously. I have, like you guys probably could figure by now, I have other ventures that is my actual job. I'm doing this to bring some knowledge to you guys about what's going on the inside, because I realize this is a very rare thing, that this stuff is not televised. There's not going to be any recordings of it. There's not going to be any video evidence of it. And I want to just bring what's going on the inside to you guys straight down the middle, so you guys know what's actually happening and not put my own sauce on it. Now, I will do that later on, my own opinion, but there is a lady. I'm not going to say her name. And guys, don't crap on her in this, but there is a lady that she makes money from this, right? So she has to come out of the courtroom. Yes, that's correct. Yes, she makes money by coming out of the courtroom and exaggerating and being entertaining. Okay, you have to understand that there are some people like me who don't make a dime from this because this is not my job. I'm just bringing you guys this type of stuff because I'm passionate about leadership and specifically thought thinking, like leader thought thinking. Like I really want people to think for themselves and lead others by thinking for themselves. Do your own research, understand for yourself how this works. But my point is that you can't always take what people, they make tens of thousands of, they make tens of thousands of dollars from their followers because they're entertaining 14-year-old kids that are sitting at home, right? Or 16-year-old kids that are sitting at home. Think about it. When she comes out of court, who has time to watch and donate to her channel if they have a job or if they are in school, right? These are people that have, they want to watch something entertaining. So you can't really crush those people for making a living, to be honest with you. But you also have to take what they're saying with a grain of salt, because you understand they're trying to push a narrative. They know what their followers want to hear. They also know what's going to get people to give them the super chats and the likes and the donations and all that kind of stuff. They already know that, right? So that's the whole idea of what they're doing. And I'm not saying they're bad. You can't knock the hustle. But what I am saying is just understand when somebody has a motive to say and do what they're doing. So to answer your question, yes, they are exaggerating on what's going on in the courtroom, all right? But she can't come out here and say what I said, which was, it was boring today and I have low energy because I keep hearing about sexting and I'm tired. But I'm delivering it. She can't do that. She got to come up here and be like, I got to tell you guys something. Today in court, it was crazy. And I'm going to tell you that, oh my gosh, he is going to jail for 10 years at least. And it was all exposed in the courtroom today. You gotta, like, you're right? Exactly, Melissa, that's right. They gotta come out here with that because that's what they do. That's their job. If you guys come to one of my trainings, if you guys come, I got to train tomorrow, so that's why I'm on court tomorrow, right? Like a total car salesman, If you guys come to one of my trainings, for example, tomorrow, I got a training at brokerage tomorrow, that's gonna be me because I've gotta be getting everybody excited. All right, guys, so this is what we're gonna do. I gotta get people excited because that's what I'm paid for. So you gotta understand that it's a little bit different. Sorry? Yes, I am gonna say it's a child, but I'm answering the questions. These are great questions. These are really great questions. All right, now there was another comment that was made, which was talking about, sorry, can you please copy and paste it one more time? It was basically, the question was, sex traffic, what, you have it there? Okay, I have it right here. Emotional pressure, sorry, I apologize, Cody. Emotional pressure or relationships threats standing alone are not enough for a criminal conviction for sex trafficking, and that is absolutely true. It's absolutely true. And that's what it is with this particular witness. There are emotional threats like, I'm gonna break up with you, right? It's stuff like that, and hey, signs of I love your show, I want you to go. So, I appreciate that, thank you so much. Guys, here's the thing. If you're making sacrifices for a relationship, it's usually the sign of a healthy relationship, right? If you're in a relationship and you're doing certain things in your relationship that you're like, I wouldn't usually do this, but I'll do it. Like I was in a relationship with a girl that lived really far, and I would drive all the way to go and see her. That was, to me, a sacrifice. Did I want to do it? No. A lot of times I really didn't want to do it, but she didn't drive. She didn't have she drove, but she didn't have a car. So I had to go and do stuff like that, right? I was in another relationship with, I live in New York, as you guys know. I was in another relationship with somebody in Los Angeles. That's a 3-hour time difference, right? I'm flying back and forth. I'm flying her out. I wasn't sex trafficking her, because apparently now you fly like, but my point is, I'm spending my money. I'm trying to spend my time. I'm trying to connect with people. You know what I mean? Now, a lot of times, those relationships don't end up working out because the person's not willing to make the sacrifice. This particular one didn't work out because it's not easy to be on one coast and have a relationship on the other coast, and you guys are going and trying to do stuff back and forth. But people make sacrifices for this type of thing, guys. That's a sign of a healthy relationship, even if it doesn't work out at the end. And to me, that's what this was. This was people making, I don't know if it was a healthy relationship, to be honest. It doesn't seem like it was one. But it was two people making sacrifices for this particular relationship. And usually that's kind of how it goes. So you're right. Those things are not standalone to convict somebody for sex trafficking, because it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. And like I always keep telling you guys, the reason why I make this channel, or I'm making these videos on this channel, is because there are jurors on that jury that are just like me. The thought process is just like me. There's other jurors that are, out of those 18 people, you don't think there's one person that's like Jay? There are some people who are just like me in their thought process and understanding this. All right, so we got to keep that in mind. Now, I want to bring it back to Cassie, though, even though Cassie is not in this particular testimony right now. I want to bring it back to Cassie because that one is different. That one is different. We have the evidence of the assault. We have the evidence of a relationship that was that had an underlining factor of violence. Now, did they hit each other? Did she hit him too? Yes, but there was violence going on. So that one is probably going to be harder for the jury to go back and forth with, because some of the jurors are going to say yes, but that's not emotional, whatever. That's him. That's her always having the threat of violence over her head, and so she'll do things just because she feels like threatened. Now, do I subscribe to that thinking? No, but I can understand somebody who does subscribe to that thinking to say, well, she did these things because she might have been scared overall. All right. So there is that. Guys, let's just end this video with here. These are my predictions for next week. I will be here on Friday. I'm gonna try to be here tomorrow evening if I can. I have some friends that are gonna take some notes for me, and so I'm gonna, maybe if I could do an interview and just get them on the live, and they could tell you what they saw in the trial, because I would not have been in there tomorrow. I will read the transcripts, but I won't have been in there tomorrow. So I'm going to see if I can meet up with some fellow people who have channels here. They can maybe do that. But I want to give you guys my predictions. How long do you think the jury will deliberate? At least, I'd say at least 4 days. I heard that the jury instructions are 130 something pages. So I feel like the jury instructions alone is going to be at least a day or two of deliberation to understand and to bring all the testimony together, all the evidence together, everything they've seen together, and then match that stuff up to the instructions on what the jury's doing. And for you guys that don't know what jury instructions are, because I know some people don't understand what that is, for you guys that don't know what jury instructions are, the jury is not supposed to just understand the law, right? The judge will actually say to them, if he has done this, this, or this, then you can find him guilty for this, this, or this. If he has not done this, then he is not guilty of this. So the judge will really break it down for them so that they can understand. They don't have to know all the statutes. If you guys watch other videos on our channel where I break down the statutes, the jurors are not expected to understand all that and break down the statutes. They're expected to follow the instructions that the judge gives them. That's why I keep telling people it depends on what the jury instruction is, because what that question from Cody was earlier, or comment I should say, is that emotional threats and stuff like that, they're not enough for sex trafficking. If the judge says that they are, then they are. Like if the judge says that in the jury instructions, if you find that she, for example, if you find that she legitimately believed that she was going to be out on the street if they broke up because he wouldn't pay her $10,000 a month and she couldn't pay for her rent, and she legitimately found that she would be out on the street, then that is sex trafficking. If the judge says that in the jury instructions, then the jurors have to go off of that. So the jury instructions are very important in gray area cases like this, because it's very gray. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. If the judge says something about RICO and says if you even think that he might have committed arson and set Kid Cudi's car on fire, then he is guilty of RICO. If the judge says something like that, then they could say, well, he might have, and it's likely, right? Now, obviously, the judge is not going to say like crazy, salacious stuff like that, but I'm just giving you guys an example of what that looks like, because if the judge says something like the opposite, which is you would have to really, 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 truly believe that without a reasonable doubt, he set Kid Cudi's car on fire in order for there to be arson, then if the judge was to say that, then nobody on the jury can say without a reasonable doubt. There's no evidence. There's nothing tying him to it, right? But we all know that this stuff it's kind of wishy-washy. So it will come down to the jury instructions. And it also will come down to those closing statements, those closing arguments. But my prediction, guys, for the rest of the trial is the prosecution will wrap up by Wednesday. I doubt they will wrap up next week, Friday. I think they have 5 more days of testimony. And then I think the defense is going to put on a bunch of people to educate the jury of this weird, secret world of sexual favors being handed about, okay? You heard it here first. You heard it here first. What big day that will be Judgment Day? Even I will be, yes, it will be a big day. Yeah, it will be a big day. I'll be right here in front of the courtroom bringing to you guys live and alive. But guys, I believe that the defense, 5 more useless days that has nothing to do with Cassie. Is it Cassie? Yeah, I think you meant Cassie. But guys, we will be here live and alive. I promise you. We will be here live and alive, bringing you the actual judgment, as long as nothing happens to me. We'll be here bringing you the actual judgment on the day that the jury reads the verdict, okay? However, my prediction is that the defense attorneys are going to bring up people who can give you light on what this entire world of debauchery looks like. They're going to bring up the people from Cowboys and Angels, maybe some of the escorts from that company. Maybe they're going to bring up CEOs from that company, or supervisors, or managers. Maybe they might bring up, owners of these. Remember we talked about Blacked, that website that they were getting the people from? Maybe they might bring up the CEO of Blacked and say, well, how does this, adult film industry work? If it's illegal, why is it that these people can just hire somebody and film a video with them if it's illegal? Or have you ever flown somebody in to do a video, or to do a collaboration, or to do an adult film from another state? Yes, I have. Because obviously we know that in this adult film industry, not everybody is just in the same exact place. They get a flight, they go, they record the film, they fly back home. So how do you do that without breaking the Mann Act? How do you do that without that being sex trafficking? And they will explain to the jury, well, this is how it's done. This is a normal thing that is done. And I believe that the defense is going to put a whole bunch of people that are going to educate the jury as to that. Now, there's one last thing I want to leave you guys with, because we're going to end in about 5 minutes. There's one last thing I want to leave you guys with. The issue of consent. I'm making a video on it right now. I've done my research. The issue of consent, guys, you've heard me say consent in a lot of videos. It actually doesn't mean as much as I've said it does in the past. My understanding with the issue of consent has always been, if they consent to it, how could it be trafficking? But according to the statute that I've studied, and I'm making a video on it so you guys can see it, just like the bribery video for statute, just like the Mann Act statute, I made a video on it so you guys can see those, and those are my own research. I'm telling you guys, I researched the sex trafficking one. I think it's 1591 or something like that. 1535 is the statute. But my point. Sorry, somebody's playing Puff. Can't nobody hold me down in front of the courthouse. Funny, but guys, going back to that statute, it does make it clear that it's not necessarily about consent, because you can coerce somebody into consent. is what basically it's saying. Without mentioning it, it's basically saying that maybe the person consented at a time and then they were threatened and then they continued to consent because they were threatened. Play that when he walks out. I know, right? So that part is a little bit tricky. However, the biggest thing is that you have to knowingly do this stuff. If you don't know that the person doesn't want to do it, then you can't be blamed for coercing them to do it when they have only expressed to you that they love doing it and they want to do it and they want to do it and they love doing it. Okay, so that's like the gray area. This is a really, somebody said mistrial here. I did an interview with FamerTube. If you guys haven't seen that one, go check it out on our channel. But I do think it's probably a 70% chance that it could be a mistrial. I think it's 50-50 that he walks. But we all know that he did turn down a deal already. So he's pretty confident that he's going to walk. He's pretty confident. All right, guys, I'm going to be back here at the courthouse hopefully tomorrow. You guys subscribe and hit that notification button just so you'll be notified when I do go live. But I'm not in the trial tomorrow. I have appointments from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. But I'm trying to come back to the trial tomorrow to meet some of the people who have been in here and ask them what exactly happened and how this testimony closed out. I appreciate you guys. Make sure that you continue to follow us. I appreciate all of your support, and share this stuff. Share these videos with people that you're arguing with, especially that Mann Act one, especially the bribery one. If you hear somebody say that he was bribed, or sorry, he bribed the person for the tape or anything like that, send them my bribery video and say, nah, this is not bribery. Or if you hear somebody saying, well, it's so easy, I mean, he clearly transferred people across state line, go and see the Mann Act video and send them that video so that you can say, no, this breaks it down. This, and I'm not shouting this guy out, I'm shouting this guy down. I don't like this guy. This Nate the lawyer guy, I don't like him, because my video, I'm legitimately doing the research and showing you guys, here's the research, here's what we're reading, here's how we can interpret it, here's maybe multiple ways that we can interpret it, and here's how it applies here. That guy cherry picks stuff to push a narrative and then bots the hell out of all that stuff. And a lot of people have pushed that channel on me to say I'm stupid. I can read. Okay, guys, I can read. And to me, if you're a YouTube lawyer, you're not a real lawyer, you're just a glorified researcher, and I can research too. And you guys can research too. So make sure you don't let anybody tell you guys that you're stupid, that you don't know what you're talking about, that there's something wrong with you. You have the ability to read, you have the ability to research, you have the ability to reason, and you have the ability to think logically and be a leader for yourself. And that's what this whole channel is about. And that's why I started it, and that's what I'm passionate about. I bet he's never, yeah, probably. I'm not gonna pile on the guy, but I'm just saying, guys, don't let people tell you how to think. Think for yourself. You got it. I appreciate you. Go and be great. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.